Hey, good morning, Misfits. It is Sunday, June 14th. It is episode 479. 479. I hope everybody's doing well. Today's conversation is, what are you known for? And we're going to have a little conversation here that might surprise you. So we'll just hang on for it. I think it'll be a good one. With that being said, it is Sunday morning. And it wouldn't be right without a little blessing this morning to all of us and through all of us and for all of us. So, Miss Rhonda Parker.
Yes, sir.
Could I get you to
Ready?
bless us a little bit?
Okay, let's say a quick blessing. Father, thank you for today. Thank you for those early morning wake ups where you nudge us and you talk to us in the wee hours. Thank you for being there for us. Thank you for your love. Thank you that all that you bring to us is from you for us to enjoy and take pleasure, and to also to share with others and to bless our families. Thank you for the joy that you allow us to sit in and that we get to choose to be in. Thank you for the smiles we get to have and that we get to give away. Thank you for every place that's joined together today. If this is their day, they join in unity. Bless them, Lord, and help them to continue to join even when they're not there, so they can move throughout the whole week, whether they're in four walls or not, and remain in a place of love and joy and peace and happiness. Thank you for this conversation. Holy Spirit, take control, take over all the thoughts and all the words, and help it settle into our heart the way it needs to. Grow us and develop us, Lord. Help us to surrender to that growth and that development, and help us to apply it and use it, and let it all glorify you in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rhonda. And with that being said, the conversation for today is, what are you known for? So this is going to be a participatory call. Look at that. Participatory. Is that 5 syllables I used? Oh my good Lord. It's I'm going to ask you to participate. And we're going to do something I think it'll be valuable for you. I think it'll be good for you to hear. We're going to actually say what we know about folks, what we know, what we believe they're known for. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to go with Gigi. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I know about Gigi and how I see her. I see this strong woman. I don't see youth. I don't see age. I see this strong woman who is on this constant journey to move herself forward. I see this fear sometimes of leaving people behind, and how do I make sure I don't hurt them? But in being this strong woman of asking questions, of awakening, of diving into things, I see this beauty. I see this laughter. We hear that little higher pitched voice that shows up, and it lightens our days and brightens our mornings. There's a level of confidence there that I see, that I hear. And there's this desire, because I only see her here. I only see her when she comes to this vulnerable place. I don't see her when she stands tall in her own shoes, on her own, by herself. I don't see how she acts. I've seen pictures of her, but I've not seen her in an environment other than this. I've not seen most of you in an environment other than this. So those are some things I see about Gigi. Rhonda, what do you think you see Gigi as known for?
I see a tenderness, a gentleness, a very kind of fairy tale little girl, princess-ish, that would love to be able to wave a magic wand and take cares away from not only herself, but anybody else that she loves. I see the ability to love without having to say a word. And that scares her at times because there's oftentimes she loves and no one knows it. And it takes a lot more from her than what they realize. And I see her as just wanting that back in return. And that as she felt that, that would complete her. I see that she would give more away than she would take. And that if everybody just had smiles around her and she was a part of that, that would be all she would need. I see someone who cherishes the small things. Would, of course, enjoy luxuries, but doesn't have to have them, because the luxury is people around her are feeling her love and feeling her joy. I also see a little bit of snappiness there too, that she can step up when she needs to, and when she does, you better watch that head shake. And she can line you out at a moment's notice if you allow her that moment, or if you're playing foolishly. She can check you, but she'll do it out of a place of love, but still kind of going, get your act together. So there's this hidden strength that can rise up to the surface at a moment's notice, and it doesn't scare her to step into it. And when needed, it's without hesitation, and it's in full strength and full confidence. But that peaks out every now and again. She would rather, I see her as a place of, she would rather just have the big princess dress and the smile and that magic wand just to make everything perfect. That's how I see Gigi.
Cool. Who else would like to speak into Gigi? Who else has some words to see how they see Gigi?
I would like to speak.
Go ahead, Delia.
I see a vibrant, beautiful, smiling girl with all her might, full of wisdom and heart and intellect. I think her intellect matches her wisdom. It's like when she speaks or she types on the, I'm getting goosebumps. When she speaks or she types in the messenger chat here, wow, we can all be chit-chatting and putting down our thoughts as you're talking or the participant is talking with you, and she nails it in like a beautiful, precise, fluent, on purpose. She's on purpose. This girl is on purpose as young as she is. And I feel very, very blessed to know her. I feel the love in her heart and the connection. And I think that she will do, or is doing, everything that God has for her to continue on her journey and purpose. Just to open her hands at all times, and when there are times of adversity, what I see is open the hands and choose joy, because she's on the path already. And it's wonderful to see somebody this young, this vibrant, this beautiful. What could she do on this world with all the years ahead of her? I am like mesmerized when I say this. Thank you.
Thank you, Delia. Who else? Anyone else? I don't want Gigi to like turn into a puddle over there, but
I want to say something.
please, Nikaya.
And good morning, everyone. I haven't been on in a while, but hi, Gigi. So something that I see in you is someone who's stepping into their purpose, and someone who's extremely strong and who wakes up every single day just genuinely wanting to help and genuinely being there for people, which I appreciate you for being there for me, especially like outside of this, I'm really appreciative of you for that. And I see you overcoming your challenges, and that not say your internal battle, but you overcome your old story every single day. And you're just someone who's just worth it in every single way. And you're extremely strong. I appreciate and I admire your courage, your passion, and just the love that you have for everything and everyone. So, yeah.
I love it. The next unique soul I'd like to shout out is Michelle Davis. And she is this amazing soul. Again, I've not circled in time and space with you in the physical realm with the majority of you. But when I get to see somebody who has this confidence in her voice, right? Because we hear that strength. We hear that been rode hard, put away wet sometimes voice. We hear this idea of there is no place for second best. And just this level of confidence. The other part that I get to see, that I get to say is amazing, is to watch that level of vulnerability, that level of trust in us, in me, that's not a normal, it doesn't get given away. It's normal, but it doesn't get given away easily. So the level of confidence that she has, the level of vulnerability that she has allowed us has been absolutely amazing. And her ability to stay in the game, to be able to, after you win the championship, when you have your freedom, one of the hardest things to do when you quote, get your freedom, is to go back. When it has been gone for so long, when it has been taken for so long, and when you get it, you go back for the reminders, and you throw some nuggets out, and most people are like, okay, listen, when you want it, it's right over here. She's gone back into the fight, and she shows up here every day to listen to the one word, to the one thing, the one sentence that triggers that ability in her to give guidance that no one else can give. So that's what she's known for in my world, in my eyes. Rhonda, what would you say our little girl Michelle is known for you as you see her?
Michelle is strength and fire, and there's vulnerability underneath the strength and fire, but you got to be able to withstand the heat to get to the vulnerability. But when you do, the vulnerability is so raw and open that she holds nothing back from you. She's tenacious. She's vibrant. She doesn't let life or age define her. She defines herself, and she makes up her own definition. And she's okay if you don't agree with her. She stepped recently into a new place that if you don't agree with her, she won't cut you. She'll actually smile at you and walk away. She's got this wisdom about her from life and life circumstances that a lot of people don't have. But she's got this little girl love inside of her that loves to come out and play, and is slowly seeing even more so that it's safe for that to happen. And it's this sunshine-like innocence that it's very interesting that her hair and her eyes are so bright, because that's part of her insides. There's this brightness, this sunshine-like quality, this oh my gosh, I got to put glasses on to really look at her, because she's so brilliant and vibrant in color and energy. And she's got a smile that it makes you go, what's behind there? But it also makes you go, man, I can't help but love it. I can't help but love it. And she's got this strength in her voice. Her voice is a very strong female voice. And she's got this strength with it that tells you when she speaks, the words you can stand beside and like lean up against her words, because she doesn't just flippantly say a sentence, that her thoughts line up with her words quite well. And she's learned the say what you mean and mean what you say. And she means what she says. There's also this playful, give me a glass of wine and let's have fun and chit chat about her. And this, I'll never grow old. I'm always going to be young no matter what happens to my body. And this strength of any woman could come around her and be supported. Whether you like her or not doesn't matter. She'll still support you as a strong woman and send you on your way with more strength than what she found you. And I believe that that's what she loves to do. I believe sometimes she gets hurt by this, like we all do, but I believe that she walks past that and knows that she's sending you out into this world in a better shape than how she found you or how you found her. I keep hearing strength around her, the word strength and strong. And it's just like she's this just huge muscle that no matter what's going on inside of her, she's one of those friends that you could always call and she's there. And she'll get there however she has to get there to be there with you. That's what I see in Michelle.
Cool. Who else would like to share something on our amazing soul, Michelle?
I will.
Go ahead.
Michelle has determination, and she has passion in her life, and she knows how powerful she can be, and I believe that she puts that into practice. If I knew Michelle closer and she came and told me, look, Delia, I'm doing this, would you want to be part of this? I would close my eyes and just go. Because she has that, how can I say, reassurance. She emanates security. There's no doubt in her word, in her speech when she speaks, even though she has come out and disclosed herself and worked with her pain. She has shown herself exactly as she is, but when she speaks with conviction. I love that in her. I love that.
Awesome. Thank you, Delia. Gigi, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I wanted to say something to Michelle though.
Go ahead,
Michelle.
please.
When I see Michelle, I see like light. Like Ronda was saying, like you can see it in her smile, you can see it in her eyes. She just has this brightness about her. And she's like assertive, but at the same time yet still goofy, especially when you watch her Instagram stories. It's like she shows her authentic self and she doesn't care whether you like it or not because she loves herself. And I love Michelle so much. She's so strong. I love her. Okay.
Thank you, Gigi. The reason that I want us to experience this is because sometimes we get nervous to compliment people. And saying what you know about somebody is a form of public speaking. and to be speaking to an individual is it just does something in the body. It causes us to wonder if we're saying the right thing. The reason I share this is because there's a good chance, there's a better than average chance, there's maybe even a really, really, really high chance the person you're speaking to in your business has never had a compliment, has never had a public compliment given to them, has never had somebody say, hey, you know what? I really like your smile. I like the way your mind works. It's rare for people to get compliments and to have conversations about the person they're sitting with. It's usually this give and take. And if you're lucky, I think it was Emerson said, the challenge with people talking is most people think they have a dialogue. Most people don't have dialogues. They don't, it's rare that they pour into people. So let's see here. Sharon, I see your hand is up.
I just wanted to add that I see an honesty in Michelle, a fierce honesty, and unwillingness to compromise with herself and learn what is true for her, and not pretend to believe something that she doesn't believe or tell you something she doesn't feel, but a willingness to risk that level of intimacy with somebody to speak her truth. And it's like a truth from the inside out. It's like, if she doesn't get it, she ain't gonna pretend she does. And if she does get it, you're gonna hear about it. And I love that about you, Michelle. And it's like you're this mama bear. You're fiercely protective of people and want what's highest and best in each and every one of us. And you see the good, you see the blessing, and you also hold people accountable for showing up for who they are. So, and I'm also aware that when we speak into people, often, whether we see something we like or we don't like, can often be qualities that we have inside ourselves, So I love that about you, Michelle, that you are always, always growing. So that's what I had to add.
Thank you, Sharon. And part of this is understanding your secret sauce. What you think is valuable to you, what you believe people see you for, is sometimes not the reason that they see you. So understanding your secret sauce, why it's so important that you really dive down inside of it, because that key, that component of your secret sauce is critical, because you could be saying A, B, C, but all they see is X, Y, and Z. And they want everything in between, but they can't get there. So sometimes we have to stand in how we're viewed in order to be viewed more, in order to do those things more that we love to do. Corinne, I see you have your hand up, my love.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Sean. Good morning. I wanted to talk about Michelle and what she means to me. The first thing was, it's a little difficult to say this, but it's what she looks like, Michelle, you are blonde and blue-eyed, and you care so much about me, and you helped me work through a very difficult transition. And you had the best intentions, and we sat there for hours. Every single one of the people on this call were there during that time. And like you, Michelle, care. And it's not like a tagline. That's what's difficult for me during this time. It's not that people say that Black Lives Matter. It's that it's a tagline for, you know, a couple months, and then people are going to just do whatever they did at the beginning, you know. But it's like people on this call that really show me that it's the soul. It's the soul, and the word that Sean always says, the psychograph. That makes me connected to you, Michelle, and you are amazing for that. And how you care about people, and even me just looking at your picture, it's crazy that I'm saying this to to you, that I love you so much for who you are, and what you give in your time, and it's your pure love that you want to give. It's the wanting to give love and not doing it for any other reason other than the fact that it gives you life, to give life to other people. And I just wanted to share that really quick, Michelle. And honestly, this goes for everyone on this call that is giving love and light, because it gives themselves love and light, and it's from their true heart and their true nature. So thank you.
I love you, Corinne. Thank you. Yay. So understanding how this works and hearing it. So the reason that I want us, I'm going to walk us through this process, is because it's very uncomfortable for the listener. Now, I promise you, if y'all started saying nice things about me, for the last 40 years, I've been working on my brain and working on myself. There'd still be a little uncomfortableness, but I would absolutely sit in joy. I'm going to ask each of you, as you hear this, sit in that joy. If you cry, cry. If you laugh, laugh. If you enjoy, enjoy, because this is a rewiring at a neurological level, at an electrical level inside of the brain that you're not used to hearing. And in order for us to enhance the world, to wake up, the next level of waking up, we have to hear that. We have to become great at pouring out goodness, right? Yesterday, the conversation was, what do you spill? Today, we're spilling recognition. Today, we're spilling love. Today, we're spilling energy across a two-dimensional platform that goes out into the ether. Some of you are connected via your phone. Do you realize? Follow me on this. I know now we're going to get a little crazy here right now. If it's okay if I get a little crazy, type a C in the chat. When we send out this love, and it has to go, if you're on a cell phone, and it has to go through the ether to a tower, and from that tower back to a landline, and then from however it gets out the speakers. Do you realize that the vibrations, the energy of the vibration of the magnetic frequency, the magnetic wavelength that is passing from your phone or from the wireless of your computer into wherever it gets into technology, those waves are going to pass through people? Follow me on this. And where Alicia is walking right now, and where her phone shows up, and in order for her to receive that information, it's got to pass through trees, babies, men, women, children, dogs, cats, kittens, elephants, tigers. If frequency is everything and thoughts can influence our day, do you think sending out words of love and joy through a platform like this? Do you think the conversations we had with Gigi and about Michelle so far, do you think those vibrational words that pass through people, do you think it changed their day? My answer is, oh, hell yes. So I want to talk about Monique. Some of you may not know Monique Peters. This soul actually brought me an apple pie to my house. And we just know each other through social media. That's where we've connected. But Monique is this mom, this entrepreneur, this YouTube TV host who just has gone through it 400 pounds, I think, at one time, has lost like ridiculous amount of weight. The determination, the ability to start. When the finish line seems like it's 1,000,000 miles away, she's the epitome of the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. She's got this clarity. She's got this little snap in her voice. She's hysterical beyond belief. And she doesn't mince words. And I love that I know that she's in my corner. I love to know that she's part of our community, and that if I asked for something right now, she'd do whatever she could. She's got to be there to do whatever she could to help. She's got this amazing daughter. She's got incredible children, but I know Gabby. Gabby came to the house. Gabby's going into our military, into the Marines. And Mom still has the courage to stand tall and stand strong, knowing that her daughter is taking this decision to serve, and supporting her, and just amazing. So yeah, I just absolutely love Monique. Rhonda?
So Monique's one of my woman crushes. I'm not gonna lie. And she's wisdom. She's like a Proverbs 31 woman. And if you read the Bible, go read the chapter in Proverbs 31. It identifies her well, because she's beauty at first sight. She's breathtaking, and she's like, oh my God, holy crap, who is this? And just surface, because you have to start there, because you're taken aback by her beauty. You have to start there. Just surface. Her facial structure, her eyes, her mouth, they're mesmerizing. And that's just sucks you in. It's just a lure. It's just a lure. And then you after you stop gasping and gaping and like, holy crap, who is this woman? Then when she opens her mouth and you hear her speak, you about fall out of your chair, because she has some sort of 2 or 3 line nugget that you go, what? Oh my gosh, she just summed up like 13 years of my life in 3 sentences. She's got this wisdom that blows you away, but it's so thoughtful. That's what makes it so wise. She doesn't shoot and then aim. She checks her target. She checks herself. She looks at what's going on. I don't want this to be a negative comparison, but she's like the most precise sniper ever, because she checks the wind. She checks the trajectory. She checks the surroundings. She checks all this before she lets those words leave her mouth. And what she checks with the most is her heart. She checks with her heart, and she checks in with God. And she is willing to be wrong in a thought and express that just as quickly as she is when she is correct in her thought. And she will shine the light on herself and interrogate herself as soon as she will a thought that comes to her from someone else. She is equality for any gender and any race. And even if she disagrees with you, she'll protect your right to stand in your thought and be okay with that too. She's a mama bear with some love that will get you through the rest of your life, even if you don't belong to her. You cross one of hers and you will meet your maker quickly, because she ain't got no time for that. She's this amazing actress that can step in and out of a role and play a character that I can already see it, that just makes your chin drop. And like I said, she's one of my woman crushes. So I could talk about her for hours, and her strength with her children. She doesn't just tell them what to do. She models what to do, does it with them, and then helps them do it better than herself. And when you come in contact with Monique, as you're willing, she'll help you become better. Even if you surpass her, she's okay with that, because it's a rising tide raises all ships, and she knows that. So if you excel in an area that she's doesn't necessarily excel in, it doesn't intimidate her. It makes her realize where she needs to grow, and she flips the script and she rises. And Monique is like an hour and 15 minutes away from me, and we haven't met yet, and that's stupid on my part, because she's someone I want in my circle, in my lifeboat, because she would be the type of woman that if I said something that was maybe a little off on due north, she would check me on it. But she wouldn't check me to be proud that she had the answer. She would check me because she would expect me to rise up and be better than what that statement was. And that's one of the most alluring things about Monique, is she just wants you to become who she knows you can be. So you get past if, and I'm still having a hard time, if you can get past the beauty and the brains, that beauty will just mow you down. Once you get past that, the brains, you're just like, you're down for the count. Like she's unbelievable in what all is embodied in that amazing brain and body of hers. Her heart, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother like 3 calls. Her heart is so full of love and understanding and caring and willingness to provide, that's why she showed up at Sean Murphy's doorstep with an apple pie after just really knowing him. She just has that much love for people. So I could go on and on, Sean. I'm going to stop because I'll go on a full
I know.
phone.
And
Right.
here's the thing. When we hear this, when we look at part of the what do you call it when you go interview process, tryout. Part of the tryout in life is trying out with the talents others see in us, not the talents we see in us. Follow me on this. This is a tough one as we work to understand our secret sauce. If we try out, we go for a tryout, we go for a reading, we go for an interview, we are operating with our own skills and talents. We read the scripts, we know the answers to what's been your biggest challenge, and you come up with the answers. When with your prospect, you deal with objections. If you operated from your secret sauce, if you operated from that place where they see you versus how you see you, life gets a whole lot easier. See, there's places where I step into this world where I'm the authority. I'm the smartest one in the room. So I need to present that way. Don't need to act that way. I need to present that way. And I need to be inviting. There's other places where I walk into the room where I am the least smartest person in the room, based on their perception. So I need to present that way so I don't act out of character. See, when we understand our secret sauce, it's not about all that we see how we are. It's that's the character others see us playing. And when we come off as a different character, we never get the role. And that's the key to secret sauce. Sharon asked, what's the bridge between where you are and how they see you? That's the secret sauce. Because how they see you and the way you present, there's a disconnect. And if you're able to build the way for them to see you and just kind of like go through the tunnel and all of a sudden wind up at you, the challenge is we never really see ourselves. And that's what I'm doing in this training. The secret sauce is going to teach you how to take how they see you. Because listen, Gigi, I love you. I'm gonna use you as a little experiment here. All of the things that were said to you, how many of those things did you know were already true?
To be honest, all of them.
Right.
But I don't like consciously kind of see myself that way.
Mm-hmm. So that's the tears. That's you're like, well, that's what I'm trying. That's just what I want to be in the world. And so now as you're standing over here as you, and we see you as you know it's true. Everybody who hears anything they hear about themselves, they know it's true. It's like, oh, they know me. They see me. But there's something that causes us. There's this armor we feel we need to have in order to be that at the same time. And when you can stand in that secret sauce, when you can stand in you and you can be that loving, joyful, proud, Z-snap, you're dead if you do it wrong woman, all of a sudden your frequency, how many of us know that vibration is key? And you are out of alignment. Anybody ever drive a car that's a little bit out of alignment and the steering wheels does this? Some of you maybe are not old enough, but some of us are old enough to know that if you got to get past 45, because past 45, the shimmy goes away, right? Some of you are driving around at 35 miles an hour and you can't hang on anymore because you don't know your sauce. You don't know your stuff. And you're afraid to go faster. You think you have to slow down. This is the power of understanding your secret sauce, what makes you so unique, what makes you find your place, find your life. There's somebody on here that some of you have seen him. He's quiet a lot of the time. Rob Cardenas. So Rob is one of the founding misfits. He's been here more than I have. Because there's a day I slept in and he didn't. Rob Cardenas is one of those guys, individuals who has absolutely done more for this world than the world will ever know. He's done more for me than he'll ever know. He's kind of the number one cheerleader of the misfits. He's gone out and gotten T-shirts. He's gone out and done just amazing stuff. He's sat through more Jim Rohn trainings than I have, because I never did get to see Jim Rohn live. He's got notebooks older than most of you on this call. He's got journals he pulls out that are 23, 24 years old. This is somebody who has gone through hell and back, told us about going to propose to his bride of now, and told us about it, and he kind of let the kitten out of the bag, and he's like, well, tomorrow's going to be the day. And we sat here and we heard it, and we just enjoy with him. He is a consummate supporter, consummate leader, somebody who's constantly sharpening the saw, and somebody who I consider a mentor and a friend. We don't talk as often as we need to, as often as we should, but he's one of those people whose words are always with you. So I absolutely love him to death. I think he's absolutely an amazing soul. He's been in the food and beverage industry since there was food and beverage finally came together. So he understands what it is to lead people, to deal with rather sensitive personalities. I'll put it that way. And he's just this amazing dad. His boys love baseball. and he's just being a good human. Rhonda, you got anything to say about Rob?
Oh my gosh, yes. Are you kidding? Rob's heart is like the size of Texas, even though he doesn't live here. And Rob is intentional. He's fun-loving. He wants love to flow around everywhere. He's got a heart that wants to connect with God continually. He wants to show that and model that to his boys. And his boys are his life. If he could do anything, he would stop everything else in the world and just hang with the boys and take care of them. He would be like the best mom and dad both to those boys. Because that's just the caregiving nature inside of Rob. Rob has a heart to want to see other people succeed. The food and beverage industry is interesting for him because he serves those that serve others. And that's a really unique place to be, because he has to be the one that isn't always getting served, but he's helping others become better at what they're doing. And this goes through life for him. And as they get better at doing what they're doing, when they make a mistake, instead of them taking the heat, Rob will go take the heat. And it's the same thing in life. When you're in Rob's life, if you do something that's caused a oops, he'll go take the heat for you and still help you learn the lesson. He'll still welcome you and help you and hold you back up and dust you off like a little kid on the playground. He'll pick you up when you come off the slide and land on your hind end instead of landing on your feet. And he'll dust your little britches off, and he'll just giggle and laugh with you, and he'll send you on the way. And when you go down the slide again, if he's doing something else, he'll run over and he'll be like, hang on, y'all, I got to help this person get up. They might fall coming off the slide. And he doesn't slap you around with you. You know, I've already told you that. You already know that. He picks you up and he dusts you off, and he gives you a big old hug, or he gives you a funny t-shirt that he made to commemorate the moment. And he goes, here, wear it with pride. Come on, step into it. And he has this love inside of him that when he unleashes it, it's like a tidal wave that'll go over people. And it takes a lot of people by surprise because you don't see him often. He doesn't need to be seen. And when you do see him, you wonder, man, why don't we see more of him? And he doesn't need the spotlight. All he wants in return is the love and the joy and the kindness and the happiness. And that's what fuels Rob. And he's a steady pillar that doesn't really wave or get caught up in the commotion as easy. And if he does, he'll see that he's caught up, and he will come back to his steadiness. And he'll find his roots. And to me, that's really amazing, because he doesn't just hop from place to place. He'll always come back and ground himself. He'll always come back and talk to God. He'll always come back and ask God for direction. And a man that's going into God's heart to find direction finds lots of blessings and peace. And I see that for Rob. And as he does that, I see him settle into it. And I see that he's not scared to show us when he's not in peace and when he is in peace. And I like that authenticity. That's how I feel about Rob. That's what I see.
And folks, if you'd like to share something, raise your hand, whether it's sharing something or asking a question about something, because I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable going, okay, now somebody else say something nice. Moshe, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I really wanted to say thank you, Sean, for sharing that, because Rob is actually one of those voices that when he comes on, my ear just literally perks up right away, because the vibration just in his voice lets me know how much wisdom is behind what he's saying. And that by using, like, asking those questions that most people don't ask themselves on a regular basis, he brings that perspective of, oh, that is possible as well. So I'm so grateful to have him on this call. I'm so grateful for you for, just creating this amazing environment for everybody to be in. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you. And Poe. Talk about somebody who has grown. Her vulnerability, her awakening to herself, her desire to find success and thinking it's always outside and then realizing it's on the inside, to watch that awakening in her eyes. She's somebody who has absolute attraction vibration. And sometimes her attraction vibration does it so well. She's like, what are all these people doing around me? And she gets to share that smile with them. As a teacher, right? Remember when she first came on the calls, the biggest challenge is as a teacher, then all of a sudden, all of that energy, all of those little high vibrations not being around, that like created a huge vacuum. And the brain doesn't operate in a vacuum. The body doesn't operate well in a vacuum. And so for her to be able to find a way to fill that void with her own abilities, her own skills, her own talents, her own greatness, to see this little girl, because again, I'm old enough to be her dad, but to see this little girl who continues to show up every day, even if somebody takes her favorite doll, and wanting to show up and say, there's got to be more. This what is it? Insatiable desire to be at peace, I think is absolutely brilliant. And I love her for it. And I love watching her growth through this whole process. And she's just starting to stretch her wings, her butterfly wings. And it's just a neat process. Rhonda?
Oh my goodness, Anne. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Anne. Whoa. We got some beautiful people on these calls. You realize it? Guys and girls. Holy crap. Y'all just my eyes. I see Anne as learning who she is and a little timid to step into her full strength, willing to step into it, a little timid to step into it, because she knows that the strength that lies within her is like large enough to move multiple mountains at once. But she gets a little scared of it because she knows once she puts her mind to something, she doesn't stop. Once she makes a decision, it's done. And she'll do what she has to do to follow through with that decision, even if it's super uncomfortable and getting on a phone call and talking to some crazy white guy in Plano, Texas, to make herself uncomfortable enough to grow. She'll do it. She'll do it. What I'm seeing in Anne is that she's stepping into that place faster. That the barriers to get to that place of I'll do what I have to do to grow are smaller. And even though they look bigger, she will figure out a way over them, through them, around them, beside them, or blink her eyes and they're gone. And she just walks into the success that's right there with her. She's got this childlike innocence that she still she still kind of wants to just be able to play with the dolls and smile and have her make-believe world. And she's trying to figure out how to mesh the two, the make-believe and the real. And it sometimes makes her kind of go, wait, hang on a second, which world am I in? But she also thinks, why can't both worlds exist? And why can't I have that fairy tale now? And she's learning how to do that. She's learning how to step into that. And although she senses fear at times stirring up, the more the fear stirs up, the more she stiffens her spiritual spine and wakes up and goes, I don't have to live with this. And what's beautiful about Anne is we are getting to watch that unfold. We're getting to watch that tenacity unfold. We're getting to watch that strength come to the surface. And whereas her voice is so alluring and charming, you get sucked in by that. But as she needs to make a decision, she'll stand in that strength and almost make you pass out, like fall over backwards and go, where did that come from? But then as you wake up, you're like, I'm following Ann. I'm following Ann. Or I'm walking beside Ann, or I need to call Ann, or wonder what Ann would say. And it's funny that at such a young age, she'll question herself. She knows her strengths. She'll question herself. And then at times, with one quick sentence or phrase she hears from somebody, it will remind her just who exactly she is. And she's back in that strength, that Wonder Woman-like strength. And she's standing there with that hair flowing in the wind, all down, going, what you got for me today? Because we going through it. And I love that at her young age, she is stepping into that. Her knees might be knocking a little, but she's like, I don't care. They can knock. That'll just be the rhythm I walk to. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm stepping out and I'm doing this. And then you cross that with the pure, sincere smile and the heart that just radiates every heartbeat. You feel it. You feel that come from her. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? And you suck in a little closer, and then every time you're like, ooh, I felt it. Ooh, I felt it again. Oh my gosh. And she brings you to the sense of being alive when sometimes you're just existing. And when I hear her voice, it perks up that part of me to where I'm like, I'm not just existing. I'm alive. I'm striving. I'm talking to somebody in a whole nother country that I could be her mama, but she's speaking into me and she's making my heart wake up in a different place. And there's a piece of my heart that wakes up differently when Ann speaks as opposed to anybody else. And that is a strength that as she steps into that more and more, that's world changer. That's game changer. Yeah. Snap it out, Bikumi. That is, oh my gosh, this woman's on a mission and she'll change the world. She's one of those women that phrase, well-behaved women rarely make history. She's one of those because she looks all well-behaved and things, but at times she's like, now we're breaking every rule. There are no rules. I will make the rules if I have to make the rules. And that's where she stands. And I love that about Ann. That's how I see Ann. And I love you.
So again, she knows all of that's true, but it's neat to hear it in a way that we actually get it. We don't have to hear it on the inside of our head. We hear it coming into our heart. And again, this is your secret sauce. This is how people see you. Understanding that this is critical is now what to do with that. How do we, to use Sharon's word, bridge from where the timidness that we sometimes operate in to the fierceness that other people see us? this is what's necessary for us when we want to find that secret sauce. And one of the secret sauces, one of the ingredients in everybody's secret sauce is the ability to give recognition. This talent that you hear Rhonda using, that's part of a secret sauce that's helped her grow significantly. That wasn't something that was commonplace. When you're uncommon, to recognize people sometimes doesn't come off the right way. It doesn't sound the right way. Learning that skill of recognition is key, is critical. It'll change your business. And it is an ingredient in your secret sauce that most people don't teach. How you can give recognition, how you can give praise to others, so it's not seemed like a hollowed thank you. So, Gigi, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to say something to Anne. You know, Anne is, when you see her, you just see, like Rhonda said, like childhood innocence. But I see also the fact that society kind of deemed that as that's not something that she should have. But she's battling the old story within herself that tells her that she can't have this childlike innocence in her adulthood. And I see someone who is very inquisitive and wants to know more about themselves, and that she's in the process of falling in love with herself again. And I see like where I was, and I'm like, wow. When I see Anne, I'm like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of where I was. And I know that she's on this journey and she's excited for this journey, but at the same time, there's that little timidness and that little fearfulness within her that's like, I don't know what's next, but I'm ready to step into it because I'm ready to step into my greatness and show the world who I truly am. I love you, Anne.
That was awesome, Gigi. I see Bakumi has her hand up.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I wanted to say something about Anne as well. Whew, everything that Rhonda said, I was like, oh, yeah, she needs to hear this because, like every time I think of Anne, I just hear the word fearless. Like, I just hear the word fearless and courageous. And, like, I remember the first time on the Zoom and she, like, put up her hand. I was like, wait, this girl's from London. Like, wait, who is she? Like, I was like, I thought I was the only one from London here. So I was like, okay, let's see what she has to say. And then every time she'll just come on and she'll just open up and she'll just open up and she'll just open up. And like, I know a lot of people struggle to just open or just, like, even if she doesn't have like a whole question, she'll just come and share and she'll just say, Sean, can you give me your perspective? Like, she wasn't scared to just be who she needed to be on that call. Like, she just wanted to be herself. And like, even like the conversations I had with her and the live, like just seeing her wanted to come out and just just share her voice, like how the need to share her voice is so strong in her. And she's just trying to find a way to do that. And I just see she just wants to break all the rules, like, and I just see that, like, she just sees, like, so many people, like, just, I don't know how to describe it. I'm so bad with words. But, like, I just see that she sees other people, like, wrapped up in themselves and they can't share their own voice. So she wants to be that voice for them. And I just see that so strongly in her. And she just thought, like, the way that she was on, like, she's excited about lives now. She's like, I need to go on this new live between me. Let's do a new one. Like, I just love it so much. And it's just so incredible to see. Like, I just want her to break all the rules. Like, let's go. Like, because all those rules that society's put on us, nah. And it's like, nah. Like, I'm not about that life. So she's like, let's go. So I just love that about her. Like, I just love it so much.
Kumi, thank you. And how are you feeling?
Wow. I mean, emotional. Just, these are some of the things that I sometimes forget about myself. So it's really nice to, like, hear it from someone else and then be able to just capture this moment. Like, I'm gonna probably remember this for a very, very long time. It will be like my source of strength when my old stories try and resurface. But I don't even know what to say. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm in awe, and I love Gigi, Ronda, Sean, everyone on this call for hearing me chat a load of, and also listening. And sometimes I come up with random things like the iron thing that was swinging around, and you all listened. I mean, I genuinely thought that was something deep, and then Sean was like, "That's nothing. Like that's just like nothing." And I was like, "Well." For 6 years, I thought that meant something really deep. But anyways, it's just so nice to like receive all this love. So thank you guys, and you've literally made my day. I literally just finished one of my essays for uni, so I'm like in the celebration mode. So this is like perfect. But yeah, thank you guys.
Awesome, man. There's individuals on this call who have kind of stepped into their own world, their own place of awakening. Every one of us is. But this guy, Leo, has been doing just amazing work on himself. Vulnerability, for a guy to be this vulnerable, to show up every day. I think the dance has something to do with it, understanding music, understanding flow. So I see Leo as this strong Latino who fits the mold of having a very strong mother, who's definitely a servant to society and wants to be able to bring to be the good example, to not disappoint. And there's been so much pain that he's had to live through to not disappoint, that now he realizes, or he's coming to the awakening of, it's okay to be Leo. It's okay to be the name that is kind of different. He's okay to be different. He's finally stepping into the music that he's been surrounded with. He's finally becoming the music. His swings, his roller coaster of emotions that he goes through serve us all well. And for me to be able to call him a friend is an honor. For me to watch him lead and step out, and the questions he asks are wildly vulnerable. And if it wasn't for his determination, he might not ask those questions in a public forum. But part of him also knows that somebody else wants to ask that question, and they may not have the courage, so he'll stand in the fear and do it. I'm not going to get into how sexy he is. I'm sure somebody else will mention that.
I will happily take that. Because
yeah, go ahead, Ronda.
if and when Leo ever sees himself the way I see him, y'all, just the game's over. Okay, everybody, every man turn in your man card, and every woman wish you could marry the same man, because that would just be the end of all. That it done. And then you put him on the flipping dance floor. I mean, holy crap. We just can't, we could describe this, but I'm sitting with my back to the door, and I'm afraid my husband would walk out, and he doesn't need to hear all that. So we ain't gonna go there, all right? So Leo, your heart, you still have this little boy heart at times. You still have this little boy heart that wants to be wrapped up in love and held up tight so you can hear the rhythm of somebody else's heartbeat. You still have that wanting to put your ear right on the heartbeat of somebody and tap your finger to their heartbeat, because that makes you realize and hear your own heartbeat. You're that kind of man. You can slow down when you allow yourself to slow down, and you hear that soft little pitter patter, that it makes you come so alive that you almost jump out of your skin. And it's that moment where you see all the color around you and all the vibrancy around you. And you sometimes kick yourself for going, why haven't I seen this? But then you realize, hang on, I'm seeing it now. And watching you on these phone calls, you're sitting in a perpetual state of, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now. And it's this crazy moment. It's like watching a little kid, this cute little boy open up these Christmas gifts every single day. And it might even be the same box rewrapped, but you open it from a different angle, and maybe you see it from the side for the first time, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so freaking amazing. And then the next day we wrap it up and you open it and you see it from the bottom. You're like, that's so cool. I've never seen it like this. And it's you. And it's everything that you embody. It's that childlike love. It's that charisma. It's that sexy hotness. It's the, I am proud of my heritage. It's the, I need this gift and this community because of the way I wrestle with my sister and my mom and the demons that they have. It's the, I see it and I wish they saw it. It's the love you have for every person you see, because you have this uncanny ability when you get out of the way to see the secret sauce everybody else sets in, and you want them to get to it. And you kind of have a side where you want them to pull you along too, because you know there's more for you. You're just having a hard time seeing it for yourself. So you're like one of the biggest cheerleaders, and you're, come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. And the whole time you're like, would somebody please hold my hand while I walk into it too? The bravery is there. You just couldn't see the road until recently. And the path is getting clearer, and the light is shining brighter, and you're paying attention to the clearer path instead of the fuzzy ones around you. And your heart, you're starting to hear that rhythm. And you're like, okay, I'm getting it back. I'm hearing it. And you'll dance to any song, any of that funky jive that you like, you'll dance to it. But what you like the most is when the music fades away and you almost don't hear it, and you hear that rhythm inside. You hear that God-given rhythm, and it might not even be the same beat as the music that you're dancing to, but you get so wrapped up and captivated in that you dance, and it's like people stop and watch because no one else can dance like that. And you're beginning to see that. You're beginning to see the reflection in that. And you're accepting yourself with so much love and so much grace that you've never accepted yourself with before. And you're okay with your race. You're okay with your ethnicity. You're okay with your the way you sound. You're okay with the words that you speak both in English and in Spanish. You're becoming okay with everything that created an insecurity inside of you is now being flipped, and you're stepping on that from a place of strength, and you're going, that's who I am, and here I am. And it's one of those moments where I see you dancing, and it's just like you rip your shirt off, and you're just like, and you are just like going full swing. Maybe that's me, just want to see you rip your shirt off, but you're going full swing into this dance move that everyone just kind of stops and goes, holy moly. And that's where you are. The difference this time is you're seeing it too. You're kind of the one dancing and one of the spectators. And you're like, brother got it going on. Brother is making this happen. And it lights a fire in you that no shimmy is fast enough for. And the more you shimmy, the more oxygen it creates. And it's roaring inside of you. You almost don't know what to do with it. And that's why you keep showing up. And that's why you sometimes have to go on walks and meditate, because you're like, I know it, I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. And you have to like, whew, how do I contain it? And every time you unleash it, you bless us. And you just kind of like make us all like, whoosh, oh my gosh, here he comes. And I would encourage you, step into that place, because we know that's where we see you. And when you look in the mirror, I hope that you begin to see that clearer and clearer. You are a force of nature. And you are a force that is like the best tsunami God ever created. I'm like, man, hit me with it, because it's going to be good. So I love you. I see more, but I would have to be careful the door didn't come open and my husband walked out in those conversations.
Hey, Rick.
So I love you.
Rick, just check outside the back of the house. Hey, Rick, just check outside the house.
Stop it, Sean. Don't be calling my husband. Stop it. Y'all, Sean and my husband have exchanged phone numbers, and it's getting scary. Just saying. I love you, Leo.
And I see your hand is up.
Yeah, hi everyone. I just wanted to speak into Leo because he's actually done so much for me, but I don't think I've ever expressed it. Before I used to come on these calls, I had a very negative perception of men due to just life experiences, etc. And there was this one call in particular when I think Gigi was going through some stuff and Leo spoke into her, and he was very emotional. And it's not that I've never seen a man cry, but it was just powerful. Like Ronda said, it was like a force of nature. You know, he's got such strength, but it's a gentle strength. And it's not the strength that society kind of advertises. It's a strength that's going to change the world and change the kind of masculine ideals. Leo is also someone that, for me, I see him as, for me now, Leo is someone that like represents like all males. Like I can speak to other men with love, even if they come at me, because of Leo, because I've seen that gentleness, I've seen that strength, and it's just mind-blowing. He's literally become the kind of archetype for how I react towards men now. And I can't even thank you enough, because what you showed that day changed how I responded and reacted. So I just can't, yeah, that's it. Can't say more. I'm going to cry.
Gigi.
You know, I had to get in on this because, you know, I love me some Leo.
Gotta get you some Leo.
I love me some Leo. And like Anna was saying at that moment, I've never really had the best experience when it came to men. And having Leo speak into me and be vulnerable and see the tears, it is gentle strength, but he's vulnerable within his strength. And you don't see that often. You don't see that in men, because men are taught that you can't be vulnerable. And I hate that society does that. And he's the one person, I'm gonna cry, that comes on these calls and just shows you who he is. And he realizes, I know that I deserve more, and I know that I can be better, and I will do whatever it takes for me to achieve that level of, it's like self-mastery of becoming the person I know that I was always meant to be. And even though we know that he battles with his demons, because we all do, he struggles with the battles of the old story, he still is consistent with, okay, I may battle with this, but I'm going to overcome it. No matter how long it takes, no matter how many times I got to get those love slaps in the face, it's going to, like, the day is going to come where I put this old story down and I no longer let it define me. And I love you, Leo. I love when you move your little shoulders. You know, that's my little thing. It gets me, like Ronda, hot water, yes, but I love you, Leo.
How you doing, Leo?
Man, y'all got me crying over here. I can't.
Think about him. Oh.
I don't have words right now because I didn't expect this. I don't expect I don't expect in the way that I show up that it greatly impacts other people, because I don't think about that. sometimes get wrapped in my, as Gigi said, into my own demons. And there's something that pushes them out and wants the shine to pierce through everything. And because of you guys, I can't even, again, I'm speechless. I can't even put into words how much you guys have done for me, and how I've continued to transform. And what Ronda, I mean, all of you ladies and gents has shared. Ronda has shared something about me wanting to be close to the heartbeat to hear it. And I literally think about my mom every time when she was saying that, and how much I would fight for the affection or the knowingness that I'm loved, and how much I love others. Like, it's so crazy to the point, like, you guys, like, sometimes I don't even put the video on because you guys make me cry. Like, that vulnerability that you guys bring to me shows up as realness, as this beautiful like blank slate, that everything and anything is possible with love and with joy and with fellowship in this community. And I am so honored to Anne and to Gigi that I was able to show up that day for you both and for everybody, but in the way that you described, that change your paradigm or even your perspective of who a man is or can be for you and how they show up. Because I remember seeing my mom and my sister's relationships growing up, and I don't like to use the H word, but I really, really hated how they would make them feel, and make them feel less than, and make them feel like they weren't worth anything. My mom, when I was 5 years old, I remember vividly, my mom got into a fist fight with her ex-boyfriend, to the point where he took a board to break my mom's head open. And my mom is so much of a fighter that she had her arm blocking her head, and he literally broke her arm, and she had to get like a plate and screws in her elbows because of that. And I remember being in the other room hearing all of that. And I told myself that whenever I got bigger, whenever I got older, that I was going to protect as many people as possible. And, today, I don't even realize it, but I get to do that just by showing up in my own strength and my own vulnerability for the women around me. And, for the men, of course, around me too. But, there's a special place in my heart for women because of how I was raised, and what I saw, what I experienced, and who I am today, and the dance community and the dance world, and of course in our community. But in the dance world, it's also very much the same. It's very machismo, very like, doggy dog world. And, I've been so pleased and so privileged to be around strong women who fought through that, and to see their vulnerability and see their strength and to see their will is like, man, who am I? Like, how can I ever complain? How can I ever say X, when, there's people experiencing so much worse things in the world. And all I want to do is I want to wrap my arms around everybody. And I just want to let everybody know that they're so great. And I get to do that with you guys every single morning. And I don't even, I don't even know how I met you all. I don't even know how it happened. All I know is I'm glad that it happened. And I'm so honored to be this man that's able to show up with even, all my emotions and things that I'm still experiencing, and to go down this path, this sunny side of the path instead of this cloudy, melancholic path. I'm seeing this open path of like, wow, this is who I really am. Finally, like I get to stand in my own strength, my own love, my own vulnerability, and my own shimmies, and be great with that, and be totally okay that everything will be okay. And I will continue showing up for you ladies. I will continue showing up for you men. I will continue just showing up, because there's something that connects us all. And we're transformers. We're transforming the world, one conversation at a time, one person at a time, one community at a time. And as time is moving in the direction it's moving into, the world needs more of us out there. And we have this beautiful opportunity to be able to share what we are experiencing together here with the world. And we get to make it a better place just by us being better. And I couldn't ask for a better community. I couldn't ask for better friends. I couldn't ask for, you know, better tears to run down my face, because it's amazing, you know. And it's all because of this one man's decision to say, for lack of better words, fuck it. You know, I'm gonna put myself out there, and whoever's gonna come join me is gonna come join me, whether it's one person or 200 people or whatever. Like I said, I was like, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna show up every single day for the next 480 episodes. And look at us here. We are literally a community of misfits. Like that word misfit, like think about it when we were kids, how we try to put a square peg in a round hole. That's who we are. But we get to do that when we're the lubrication and making sure everybody gets to understand that they fit in any part of their life or any part of this society. And, you know, I have to say thank you, Sean, because, you know, as Anne and Gigi has spoken about a man that's shown up in their life, I shown up in that way because of you, Sean, because of hearing how you show up with vulnerability, how you show up with strength, how you show up with love. You know, when you talk about your family and how you take a moment to absorb it. And there's times where you talk about Mason and you start tearing, your eyes start getting watery. And I think about, why didn't my dad do that? Why did my dad want to change my life? Why didn't he want to show up in my life in the way that this gentle giant shows up in his son's life? But then I got it, because I got you, Sean. And I've had amazing role models, and I may not have my dad the way that I want him to be here, but he's here, maybe just physically, maybe not emotionally or spiritually, but he's here. But I get to be that. I get to change that conversation. I get to, you know, one day have family of my own, and I'm gonna change 600 generations from now because of this experience. You know, I didn't have my dad in my life growing up, but I'm so freaking thankful I had my mom, who's my mom, and my dad, and I had male role models in my life show up. But I know today that I changed that conversation. Because of our conversation, I get to change that. I get to impact generations of fatherless children who may not have the strength to see that they're better than that. But I get to show up and show that it's possible. You don't have to be another statistic. You can love yourself, you can love your family, and you can love your culture, and it stops with you. The buck stops with you, as Mr. Andy Andrews wrote about. But it stops with you, and it stops with me. And I will never let another fatherless child ever feel like they're not loved. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah, I dare you to say that again.
I love you, Leo. I love you.
Love you so much.
We love you,
Love
my
you,
brother.
Leo.
Love you, Leo.
Love you so much, Leo. Thank you.
I love
Thank
you, Leo. Don't
Leo.
apologize.
Thank you.
Love
Don't
you so
apologize
much.
for crying ever.
Don't apologize.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ever.
Agree. That's what I was going to say. Please don't apologize for crying ever.
Ever.
So here's the thing. Strong Puerto Rican man. That's just gonna come out. That's just gonna show up, right? So that's all part of the learning process. Yeah, Leo, this is your secret sauce, brother. This is what I'm teaching. This is what the program I'm doing is to get to this. I want you guys to experience, to see. We have very little understanding of our own secret sauce. And what we think is our secret sauce is, how do I say something better? How do I get better at time management? How do I get better at customer relationship? How do I get better at doing my presentation skills, public speaking? Leo, you sat in a place of vulnerability and changed the way she looked at men. You did not have to put on a presentation. Your secret sauce showed up. And we sometimes, the challenge with our secret sauce is we still keep it a secret.
Mm.
We don't need to keep it a secret anymore. That's why I said, screw it. I'm actually going to do a training. I haven't done a live training in years because I just haven't. But when I look at the hearts on this call and I look at the hearts that are out there, and when I look at what's happening, this is another one of those fuck it moments. I'm like, screw it. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to go fix this. I'm not going to complain about it. But you can't complain unless you're willing to step up and do something. So I'm still not going to complain about it because that's joy or misery. But now I'm going to stand in it and say, what we've done in the last hour and 30 minutes is the tippiest tip, the flea that's on top of the iceberg of you diving into your secret sauce. And Leo, you sharing it, you awakening to it, you know all that. That's the thing. When Ann said, she goes, well, I've known that, but I just didn't really want to use that.
Mm.
I need all of you to use your secret sauce. I don't need it to be a secret anymore. Well, but that'll change everything about me. Welcome to the club. And when your secret sauce is out there, it's the cape that you put on that you almost don't have to say anything. Everybody knows you're a superhero.
Mm.
How many of you got on this call because I'm a 3-time number one Amazon best-selling author? Probably not a one. How many of you got on this call because I've stood on stage in 30 countries? Stood on stage in 30 countries, visited a lot more, stood on stage in 30 countries, have spoken and have been, my words through standing on stage have been translated into over 40 languages. Nobody gets on this call because of that. Now, if I was doing a speaker training call, there's my credibility. Probably close to 1 million people I've stood in front of. That doesn't matter when we're sitting here talking about Leo and he's crying because he just said something. Do you understand what his secret sauce is right now? Did y'all hear it? That's never been in one of his mission statements. I'm going to protect the fatherless children. He didn't say boys. He didn't say men. He didn't say girls. He didn't say little girl. He said the fatherless. That's all he knows about. But yet that, I don't know, has ever showed up in one of his presentations. So Leo, what do? I've partnered with a business model because it's never the company. I've partnered with a business model that helps me take care of fatherless children and teach them love.
Mm.
See what happens when we get to your secret sauce?
Mm-hmm.
All the bullshit goes away.
Seriously. Seriously.
Tell me who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
They're going to be like, what? I never heard of that before.
And Sean, may I add something to that to let Leo know?
You think I'm going to stop you?
No. You know better.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Leo, I'm
Yes,
sitting
my
here
love.
and I wasn't looking at my screen while you were talking. I was, like I usually do, I'm thinking and listening. But you drew me to the screen when you said that. To the fatherless children, you will let them know love. I mean, I looked you dead in the eye. That is your secret sauce. I mean, I was already bawling, but you had my attention. Just so you know that spoke volumes. I mean, I hate that your mother had to go through what she did with the physical abuse, but I'm so grateful she did. I'm grateful for her and what she went through, because look at the man you are today.
Mm.
Look at the man you are right now and what your mission is. And if you don't see that as your secret sauce, you do. You know it.
Michelle, I never, ever, ever saw that as my secret sauce. I thought it was just, you know, one of those, okay, I happen to be Puerto Rican and I live in the Bronx. Okay, great, enough statistic. You know what I mean? Like I always saw that as not weakness, but just not something to speak about. And, you know, it came out of my spirit today. And
It gives me chills. That is your strength right there. I mean, it gave me chills just speaking to you about it right now. Leo, that's it. That's where you need to focus on. You spoke with such love, and it came from so deep in your heart. And I think maybe that's why you didn't pick up on it, because it was, I don't want to say buried, just kind of like
it was. It wasn't buried.
Yeah.
It was buried in a concrete vault underneath 82 feet of asphalt with 7-inch rebar, and then a building was built on top of it called life.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about coming from the bottom of your heart. That's what I visualized when I was looking at you. Like, here's your heart in your chest, and at the, you know how a heart comes to a point at the bottom. Well, that little bitty bottom tip, that's where this was. But you spoke about it so effortlessly. So I'm glad your heart busted through today. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you. I mean, Sean, I wasn't expecting you to pick on me like that, but you know, something inside of you told you to do that. And you know, I first, like, you know, whenever you're being recognized, you know, for me, I'm still going through that vulnerability, right? Like at one point I wanted to cover my ears because I didn't know what was going to be said, but then something stopped me and kept my hands down and just listened and just felt and understood the impact, the little impact that this Puerto Rican man can make on everyone in this community. It brought that out, you know, that vulnerability, because you guys were being vulnerable with me. And know,
Leo, when we start, we haven't even started the secret sauce training yet. But when we're inside of that with you, with this new awakening, think of how far ahead you're going to be starting in the class.
So yeah.
Right. But now you get to see it with those eyes starting from there. Every one of you that I'm walking through this process is that I'm walking you through this process, because what the reality is that
even though I'm so
sad, hold on, let's see here. You have this chance to now totally understand your secret sauce, because this is the personal undevelopment. I'm a farm boy from Ohio with a 0.9 grade point average. When you all sit back and look at the tales of the history that we've been through, if the words freaking genius doesn't come across your lips, I've failed you. Because there is a model and a method to all that I do. And unlocking this, letting people hear you, talk about you, and you come up with that. See, when we talk about in network marketing, your why should make you cry. It's never the why that's sitting in the room. Y'all listen to this. It's never the why sitting in the room. Family, finance, recognition, 1,001 things. You've never even said those words before, Leo. What you just released. That's when it's the why not. Why not? Let's just go do this. Why not just say that? Because the rest of it you don't need to say. I'm in a nutritional company. I'm in a Forex company. I'm in a service company. I'm in a change your bill company. I'm in a change the stuff under the bottom of your sink company. What if all of a sudden part of your mission in your dance studio was to help orphan children, was to go to an orphanage once a week? Tell me your heart wouldn't explode every week.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And most of these young kids where you'd be going got some rhythm.
And Sean, you say that, and I have to share this because it's in my heart. You know, I've never told you guys this, but there was a moment in my young life, because my mom, you guys do know my mom is an alcoholic or was an alcoholic. And in my young life, that there was a choice when ACN stepped in, whether because my mom couldn't take care of me, whether they were going to send me into the foster system, or I had to have a legal guardian show up. And again, my dad was a no-show. I don't know where my dad was. My sister, who's 17 years older than me, this is why I love my sister so much, she showed up at 23 years old to take care of her 6-year-old brother. And you know, that fine line of whether I was ever going to see my family again or not, that right there, it makes me emotional. And I've never ever addressed it the way that we did today. And you know, when you say that, Sean, about the orphanage, that makes me emotional, because that could have been me. That could have been me. And you know, that right there is wow. Yeah, that I just discovered my why. I always was like, man, it's, you know, my mom, or I want to show that, you know, a Latino man could do something different, but that's my why. I never
Hey,
discovered
Leo,
that.
I have a question for you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, my lovely queen, talk to me.
I have to be careful. My husband's here too, so I can't talk too much talk about you. He's listening.
Hi, husband.
My sweet husband, he brought a cup of coffee out and I took his cup and he went and made another. He's so amazing. So I have a question for you. What's swirling around me, and I just told my husband, do you have is there like a little boy around you, and maybe it might just be you, that has been wanting dance lessons? Or maybe you're in touch with a kid that's been wanting dance lessons?
No,
Okay.
no, not exactly. I will say this though, so I have a few sisters. One of my sisters, who's the dancer, she has a son, and I've been raising him because he doesn't have a father. Well, he didn't have a father figure in his life until recently, but I've been raising him since he was a baby, and you know, so sorry guys. Taking care of him has been like someone taking care of me at that age. And he dances naturally because of his mom, but that's the only boy I can relate myself to, if that makes sense.
Maybe that's something in the future, because I see that swirling around, and I just got through telling my husband that you and I will need to talk about that, because I think there's more there. And I think that's going to be exactly, Sean hit it when he said that helping kids. I feel that around you, and I feel like you and I are supposed to have a conversation about that. So maybe not this moment, but soon. I feel like you're going to be doing that, and that I would want to help with that.
I'm so down, RBP. I'm so down.
So just putting that out there. I love you. I'm so proud of you.
I love you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for
Always.
speaking and for sharing that beautiful message. You know, that what you shared is nothing it's not like anything I've ever heard before. But it's everything that I've felt and thought before. And for you to be able to eloquently put those into words it's godsend.
Well, thank you. I hear, every time I hear you talk, I hear heartbeat. That's the words I hear. I'm like, I hear heartbeat. I hear a heartbeat. And I see you with your ear on your mom's chest. I see a heartbeat. And I don't know. That's weird that that's the picture I keep getting, but for what it's worth, that's what I get.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Rhonda.
Akila, go ahead. I know you got kicked.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Sean. I knew I had to get on Sean Murphy today, but I knew it was just to remind me to take care of myself today, because the success has officially activated, Sean. Thank you for helping me unlock my secret sauce. I am a culture creator and a relationship renovator. I'm a culture creator. I can tap into the empathy that I feel. And when I speak words with that emotion behind it, other people in the room start to feel that. And I don't have to speak loud to do it. I suffer from migraines. My Ema suffers from migraines. My siblings get migraines. And it's like, now that I know I can help them and I don't have to be loud or disrupt them at all, and I can still make them feel good and share my energy. A relationship renovator. My family dynamic. My grandmother, she's just like me. Y'all, I manifested this success. So yesterday, 2 a.m., I was up. I'm a beautiful brown woman who has a menstrual cycle. And I think the reason beautiful brown women have so much trouble with their menstrual cycles is to remind us that we are here to give something to the world. And when you have a lot of trouble with it, it's like, well, the only thing I can do, since I'm in so much pain, is sit here and rest physically. So literally for the last 7 or 10 days, I've been in pain. So I've just been physically resting my body while my mind has still been working. And then by the time I get on Sean Murphy, I'm like, good morning, y'all. Today is a great day. Sean, I think I got something. So I manifested the success on Friday or whichever day I spoke. And I was like, I feel sad, but I feel so happy. And I was talking about how even though all these bad things are happening, I'm still so happy. And I felt like I was where Leo was. And I decided to just give in to the happy feelings and work through what was trying to make me sad. And it was like how you said your secret sauce is like an iceberg and the tip is in the water. And I feel like to unlock the secret sauce, or when you're living and you're just doing what feels good, it's like you have so much access to the secret sauce, but you need to think about it so that you can fit. Like, I feel like my iceberg was flipped over. Instead of the tip showing out of the water, the base was showing. So I did all of these things and they made me feel good. And I really just needed to take the time to sit and rest my body and meditate on why I did those things. And it was like the iceberg flipped. And when you said that to me, I was like, so you telling me I need to pay my $97 today so that I can see the rest of the iceberg? I'm ready. Because literally I have been trying to pay this $97 for this last week, Sean, and I keep going to the link and there be no payment options. And I'm just like, okay, it's not today. I realize that I'm empathetic because the universe, that my higher power, I'm agnostic and I love it. My higher power, your higher power, whether that be God, Mary, or lack thereof, loves you. And you don't need to subscribe to a religion in order to feel that. Because the way the universe works, the way it all works, the way it all makes sense to me is that individually, we must figure out who we are so that we can fit in this system. And it's like, when Leo was saying that, mind you, I got on at the very end, and as he was saying those words, it just re-solidified me in what I had come to, and that was, as a culture, brown people need to unify. And the only way to do that is to actually meditate on the fact that we, as brown people, have been re-traumatized as a group time and time and time again. And with Corona, everything shut down. So we were able to spend more time with ourselves, even though we couldn't do anything. So we were working, we were feeling emotions, and so many people around me were just losing it. Like, everybody was coming to me like, da 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 da. Here are all these emotions. I'm so hurt. I'm so upset. And I'd be like, well, maybe you just need to go take care of yourself. And they'd be like, take care of myself? How dare? And I was like, okay. So that means I need to go take care of myself because the world is going through way too much and I'm feeling it way too much and it's stopping me from achieving my success. So Friday, I decided that everything that I've wanted for the last 3 years, it is finally time to get it. My sister's 15th birthday happened this past weekend. I had every reason to bring my network to this house in South Carolina, where I am right now, so that I can show them all they are my net worth. And as brown people, is the beauty of our dysfunctional, functional family is that we don't need to explain it to anyone. Exactly. I'm gonna take care of myself because y'all doing way too much. I'm a theater major. Somebody made a whole video out of the email that I wrote, and I was watching it, and it upset me. But I was really just like, I don't know her. Like, who is this person that read my email and then made a video because they were so upset about it when the email wasn't for them? And that was so interesting.
Hey, Akila, can I say something that I heard you say? Do you mind if I speak into you for just a quick second?
May I have one more moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Friday, I decided that everything that I've been wanting for the last 3 years was because that's what I needed to get. So y'all, everything that I've wanted for the last 3 years is a phone that works for me. The phone I currently have, my boyfriend bought it for me. He told me just get whatever I want. I wanted an S10, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to pay $700 for a phone if I wasn't sure that I loved it. So I bought an A50. It's the S10, but cheaper because it won't last as long. The A50 got the Android 10 update on Friday. And I'm like, wow, this is just like an S10. And that's when I was like, it's time for me to get a car. So I literally went to work with my boyfriend at 2 a.m. and every person we encountered, I told them, hi, how are you? How are you doing today? And they were like, I'm good. And I was like, oh, hi, how are you? Good morning. So I just wanted to share with you that today I will have a beautiful Kia Optima, and it's going to be less than 100,000 miles, and it's going to have great gas mileage, and it's going to be wonderful. Can you just congratulate me on that? And then some people were like, yes, how can I help you do that? And I was like, you want to know what you can do? Keep thinking about my face in that car. Yesterday, I spent about 4 hours at a dealership, a Kia dealership with my family. I'm a relationship renovator because even though my family has...
She walking away from the Wi-Fi. But I had a feeling we were going to possibly see a car.
Tell her to turn around and go back and stand at the doorstep.
I know.
that I was able to purchase.
There it is.
But I just wanted to show y'all because everybody who feels like they're where Leo is at, I just wanted to tell you to keep going, because it'll all make sense.
That's awesome.
Sean?
Go ahead, Delia.
Wanted to say something for Leo because I let everybody go. It's going to be just one sentence. Leo, you know how you said your secret sauce is to be the father for all those fatherless children? When you show up on this call, since day one that I attended, you are here for everyone. So I see you beyond the orphanage and children. I see you helping other men who had fathers that were not fathers in the role or the best role of a father intention, helping them with your dance. Because as people sing and dance, we reunite with our spirit. And there are a lot of men out there who are already past 18, who are broken, that need to see you as a role model to strengthen themselves and to see that it's possible to put ourselves together. A lot of them have no faith or the formula for being successful in their own lives as a father, and then they keep passing the inadequacy that they experience themselves, where you have stepped out of that role and grow beyond that. And I see that on the call because every time that I spoke, every time that Gigi spoke, every time that anyone spoke, Ronda, anybody, Sean, you are like a father to us, acknowledging our needs and celebrating everybody's greatness here. So I see you beyond the role of a father going into those orphanages, which you could do very well. You will find the time to do all that and more. So I had that burning desire to share that. And for some reason, I guess Aquila's line got interrupted, so I could butt in and show my intention here.
Thank you, Delia.
That was beautiful, Delia. Thank you.
Sharon, you got your hand up.
I have my hand up and down, up and down, up and down for Leo, because I feel a little bit like I miss the Monday through Friday. I only see you guys on weekends, and I missed a lot of your speaking into other people. But I also feel your presence more than anybody. You know, I feel you, and I got a glimpse today of what I love so much about you. That's just personal. And the reason my hand went up and down is because you freed something up inside me that I feel like, well, this isn't about you, Sharon, it's about Leo. But you look and you remind me of the one love of my life for like 20 years, who was this beautiful man, no matter how tired he was, no matter how, hard a day he had. I'll never forget one day walking down the street to his car, and a little kid was crying because his bicycle chain had come off. And this man that I was with stopped and fixed the bicycle chain, even though he was late going home, he was tired, he'd had a long day. He fixed the bicycle chain of this child, which represented to me his heart. And it made me realize why I loved him all those years and made myself wrong for loving him. But the difference is that you have chosen to grow yourself and to take your story and transform it. And what I'm realizing is that we don't get rid of our stories. We don't shame ourselves over our stories. We transform the stories, and we change the world by doing that. And you give me hope. You give me joy. You are beautiful. Rick's not there anymore. I'm going to tell you how sexy you are. But more than that, you shine. I love the smile, and it took away my shame for loving this man for 20 years that I couldn't have, because I realized that wasn't bad. It's like I'm holding for a Leo in my life. I'm holding for a Sean in my life, and I won't settle for less ever again, ever, for myself or anybody else. And I can use my story to transform the world if I just do that. So I didn't want to take a lot of time today, but I just really wanted to love on you, Leo, and all of you. And Aquila, I love your, Aquila was like, it was like, she reminded me of Nikki Giovanni reading her poetry. If you don't know Nikki Giovanni, go find her poetry. She's beautiful. And you reminded me of her today. I could hear her voice as you spoke. So anyway, I'm done. I just love you guys. Thank you for letting me show up on weekends only.
Love you, Sharon.
I love you, Sharon. I love you. Thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful.
Love you, Sharon. Bye, Misfits. Love you all.
Love you. Thank you.
I think I locked my keys in my car, but it's okay, because that just means I need to go back to the dealership and tell Victor he needs to activate his success, just like I did, because he was literally there trying to help me tell my parents that this is the car I need. And then
I love that. I love that so much.
He was literally just be like looking at me like, and I'd be like, it's okay. They do this. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. And he was just like, okay. So we literally talked to like 10 different members of my family in order for me to get this car in my name with an affordable monthly payment. So I wanted to text him this morning, and I hadn't sent it yet. And since my keys are now locked in the car, it means that I need to call them. Love you all. Listen to your intuition, wherever it comes from. And y'all stay great.
Thank you.
Love you. Thank you, Akila. Thank you,
Jessica, you
everyone.
got your hand up.
Hello. I'm just walking. But I just wanted to say I'll be quick. I'll be really quick. For Leo, I feel like we're all connected because the call yesterday I felt like was all about love, and it was so good. And Leo is already the father for everyone else because he's a dancer, and I know from dancing that when you dance as a team, you're part of a family, and we have this misfit family, and you have your dance family, and you do everything together. When one thing doesn't work, you try it again and you try another way. So Leo, you're already your secret sauce. So I'm so excited for you. Like I cannot tell you, and it's so nice to hear you talk about it and hear that you found it. Yeah, last night I watched a film called Tuck, Everlasting, and in the film there was this moment where this girl saw her mum, and her mum was looking after her mum, and she didn't grieve, which is what happened to me. My mum didn't grieve for a long time, but I've realized now that there were lots of people in place to be the love that I needed. I had my dance community, I had everyone dancing around me. So Leo, I'm so excited from you, and when you speak from your heart, you speak from your heart all the time. And I just wanted to share that with you. And we are all connected because Sharon started this. Sharon talked about love, and then Leo's found a secret source. And I've realized that the love I lost, I didn't really lose it because I gained it in other ways. So I love you all. I'm overwhelmed.
Love you, Jessica.
I love you, Jessica.
I love you all. I love you so much.
We love you too, Jess. You just made me cry.
I want to
Yeah, that
cry.
was
Like
beautiful.
I actually want to cry because my mum didn't cry for like 4 or 5 months, and I was the one crying for her. And now I realize that everybody else, I had everybody there for me, and they could see that I was feeling this sense of having to grieve someone else for someone else, which didn't seem right because everybody cries, right? Everybody has like a mini time in their life where they go, wait a minute, I don't have this, but I had everything, and we all have things right in front of us. Everybody you speak to, all your friends, they are the love that you never had. They're there for you. And Leo, you will help people dance, and you're helping them already. You're already that father. You're already there. So yeah, I'm off now.
Thank you, Jessica. Go ahead, Moshe.
I'm trying to compose myself here. Leo, oh my God. You and I are so connected, man. Oh man. Whew.
My brother Moshe. Yes, we are.
I knew today was different. Oh man. When I did the meditation this morning, I never let anybody inside of where my sacred silence is. And seeing Leo do that for everybody else as well, and being that vulnerable. Like, I haven't moved from the same spot where I did the meditation today because there's just a vibration that was going around the universe, and it literally came back full circle because one man decided that he was not going to get in his way anymore. And because you decided that you were not going to get in your way anymore, that seed that you planted in your mind was planted in everybody else's mind that's here right now. That's how powerful your energy is, Sean. I'm laying in the same in the same area where my mother passed away, right? The same exact spot, guys. And I have not moved from it. And now I understand. I understand that through Leo, and I appreciate you so much, man, because my mother was my father and my mother, right? Um, so I understand what it is. That's why I keep it right here, guys. Um, I understand the power that women have, and I understand that you are the life givers of the world. Through you is where the seed is planted. And Leo, the fact that you decide to show up and change that mold about men, right, is so important. It's so important because we're not deciding to be victims. We're deciding to use that as the strength to show every man that it's okay to cry, that it's okay to love, right? That is pure strength. Everything else is cowardly. If you can't show your truth, you're not a man. If you can't show empathy, compassion, that's cowardly to me. Hiding behind the shadows, that's cowardly to me. So when you can sit there, and I was like, man, I've never been able to cry in front of people like that. And to sit here and listen to all these beautiful women talk about how you have impacted their life by just showing up, right? Neno talks in the morning calls, and I'm sure he gets it from you, Sean, where 90% of the success is just showing up. And the fact that we're here, we're showing up for each other, that's changing the world, guys. Literally, our energy is just flowing at such a high rate, we can't even see it. It's this experience right here is touching so many other people, and we don't even know it yet. We don't even know it yet. But the fact that I have the honor to be with you guys here and cry and feel good about it, because these are tears of joy. It's not tears of sadness. The fact that Sean told me to step into it, and that's all I needed to hear. Like, geez, man, like, you've been thinking about this for so long. Why don't you just step into it? And when Sean told me those words, I had realized I had already been stepping into it, but just in not the magnanimous way that I wanted to. Right? Leo just realized today that he's been stepping into it, into his dance of life, but not the way that he wanted to, but the way that everybody, his outer experiences wanted him to. And that's why, man, this day is so special, guys. You know, there's a tree right here that grew out of the concrete, jungle that's called New York City, right? See, this is called a fire escape, right? So that became my escape. That tree right there, guys. That tree right there became my escape. And I don't want to make this something that's about me at all. This is about us. This whole experience right here is causing all of us to have this chain reaction in our hearts. The most electromagnetic frequency that you have in your body is your heart. And so that's why, even though I've never met any of you, I can still feel the power of your hug, right? The power of your hugs and your love and your energy around me, because that's all we need. But one day, Sharon, I'm going to go hug you because I love you. One day I'm going to go and I'm going to hug you, Sean. I'm going to hug you for like 5 minutes and I'm not going to stop hugging you. Everybody here, I'm going to meet you one day, and I know it for a fact. I'm going to hug each and every one of you, and I'm going to tell you how much I love you, because you carry a piece of my mother inside of you, right? You carry a piece of everything inside of you. And I don't know, I can't keep talking. I'm going to keep crying, but
Moshe, I love you.
So grateful.
Sean, may I speak to Moshe?
Please.
Moshe, my brother from the same mother. Bro, we're gonna meet tomorrow. I made it a point. We're gonna meet tomorrow because I'm gonna go visit my mom tomorrow. I haven't seen my mom in some time. So on my way to the Bronx, I'm gonna stop by you. I just want to speak into you, my brother. You showing up, yeah, I've been able to show up in my own vulnerability, my own strength, and you know, it's because of Sean and the lovely women in this community and the men in this community. But because of you, you've brought another inspiration and motivation to me to bring, you know, Yahweh and the Spirit and God into my life in such a different way, where this connection is so strong between us. And I have to acknowledge you because of the way you've shown up, not just in your life, but in these calls. You've inspired me to look much bigger and much further than what we see right now. And our spiritual journey together, brother, is what I've been asking my whole life for, to have another man I can lock arms with and to share, you know, the spirit and joy of Yahweh and God and that understanding. You know, I've had that with my mom, but to have that with another male in my life, it's tremendous for me. So Moshe, thank you for showing up. Thank you for expressing what's inside of you to us. Thank you for starting these morning meditations and these evening meditations that will make a difference for the world. Thank you for, you know, allowing to building a community of people to understand and get closer to spirit and to source. And thank you, Moshe, for just being my soul brother. I love you tremendously. And for what you just shared about your mother, I felt her. You didn't even have to point out to the picture. I felt her behind you. That's how crazy that is. I it's not about the picture, but there was an energy behind you that I felt that I was like, that's his mom. Like, just she's wrapping this hedge around you so that you know that you can go out there in the world and be who you need to be and show up as her in you. And I felt that.
And I wanted to share something with you, which is why I'm crying. My mother, see, I developed this thing right here because that helps me center myself. Just rubbing my hands together, putting them on my chest to accept the vibrations. So my mother gave up all her dreams to raise two men. And the number one thing she wanted was to open an orphanage.
We're gonna do that together, brother.
Yeah, we are. And I always said that, you know, when she passed away, that I was gonna do that. That I will not pass away from this life without opening an orphanage that symbolizes her energy and what she stood for. And just her power in finding any way to smile and to help people, no matter, even though she didn't have enough, she always had enough for somebody, right? She always gave, and she never expected anything back. And, you know, not having my father there, just like you, it allowed me to be the man who I am right now. And I said, I will never be somebody that's absent. And also, just like you said, that you would help show all those kids that they're loved and they'll never feel fatherless, right? And opening that in, you know, her memory, your mother's memory, like just all those people out there who need it, opening a place of community, right? Because those kids are the future, right? Those kids are the future. And so, you know, that's why I'm so grateful. That story, just like your story and how connected we all are, is just, it just is so amazing. And my mother's name was Lillian, and I always looked at her like she was a flower. So yeah, thank you guys.
Love you, Moshe. Every moment is life-changing. Sometimes we're part of the moment. So thank you, everyone, for showing up. Rhonda, last words?
I've got all kinds of emotions going on over here. Moshe, your heart, golly. A lot of the women have put it in the chat how much you guys showing up gives them hope and restores their faith in men, male, not mankind, but males. And for y'all to be who y'all are and to be so vulnerable and Moshe, you allow your mom's voice to still be heard, and you allow your mom's spoken words and mission to still be accomplished. And I love that. I love that we can all find this place, different thoughts, different beliefs, different values, different choices. We can all find this place to come and support one another. And it's agenda free. And you guys showing up and letting down the barriers of I'm a man, and checking your man card before you get on the call, and allowing us to just be human beings together, and allowing our female gentleness to flow into you and your male strength to flow into us and to support each other. And I'm in joy over here. I've got the birds chirping, this beautiful weather. I've got beautiful men, beautiful women. And to me, that's church. To me, that's the embodiment of a church. All walks of life, all different things. And we're here loving one another. It's exactly how God designed it. And you guys showing us that vulnerability is so strong and how you can step into that. And you fulfilling places in our hearts that males in our life have either never filled or tried to destroy, and you guys coming in and loving on us and allowing us to see your hearts. You don't get this just anywhere. And I love that it's provided here for us. And I love that you guys make me think, and you make me wonder, and you make me question, and you make me love more, and you carry me down this beautiful path of everything God's taught me and how it can intertwine in more than just a couple of ways. And I love that. And my prayer is for God to guard our thoughts as we go through this, so that we hear him in every aspect, and we hear him in every mission, and we hear him in every breath, every heartbeat, every tear, whether it's ours or someone else's, that we hear how much he loves us, that he brings all this to us at this very moment right now. And that it's really true how he says he leaves the 99 for the one. And we're that one. And he's left all that at the moment and right here. And the funny thing is, he's never left that because he's omnipresent. But it's right here. And the Holy Spirit is just kind of marinating us in his secret sauce and letting us just kind of sit in it and just become more flavorful and more appealing and more aware of how tasty he's made us and how soft and gentle he's made us, but yet with that iron back, and we can walk through and have that. So my prayer is every one of y'all see that and acknowledge it and feel it and walk through it, walk in it the rest of your life, not just the rest of the day, the rest of your life. And I'm super excited to see how Sean develops that in the secret sauce, because what he's getting down to is he's getting down to the soul that God put inside of you, because your soul is different than my soul. The spirit's the same because it's all God's spirit, but your soul is different than my soul. Your individuality is different than my individuality. And that's where it gets fun. So may that prayer rest up on you the rest of your day, the rest of your morning, the rest of your evening, wherever you're located, and know that I love you.
Thank you, Rhonda. There you go, Misfits. Today was an amazing awakening. And this is what happens when we talk about being present. This was a degree of presence that we'd not have before. This is where I would encourage you that every one of you can live, every one of you can stand in this presence, because when you're in this presence, this is what shows up. The wisdom, the words, how does Sean always do that? It's simply nothing other than being present. What Leo came through today was being present. What Moshe went through today was being present. What Anne shared today was being present. My goal is to get you to a level of being present so you can open up the present that's called you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm Sean Murphy, your head misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next
At the
event.
next event.
At the next event.
At the next event.
Bye,
See
y'all.
you all.
Thank
I
you
love
so
all
much.
of
I love
you.
you.
Have a great day.
Love you, Moshe.
I love all
Bless
of
you
you
all.
incredible people.
I love you, Akila. I love
Yes,
you too,
have a beautiful
Rhonda.
Sunday.
I
Bye,
love
beautiful
you,
Love
people.
Diane.
Bye,
I love
Rhonda.
you,
Bye,
Enjoy
Ken.
your
Bye, Dalia.
Sunday.
Bye, Kevin. Bye,
I love
Shanann.
you
Bye,
all.
Brandon. Bye,
Love
Beth.
you.
Everyone.
Bye, Diane. Bye, Ann. Bye,
Bye.
Brittany.
I love
Bye,
that I
Smith.
am
Bye,
Bye,
Michael. Bye,
present.
Val.
Everybody,
Samantha.
I love
Bye,
you.
Rob. Bye,
Bye.
Samantha.
Love you
Thank you,
guys.
Rhonda.
Bye,
Love
Gigi.
y'all. Bye,
Bye.
Quinn.
Thank you,
Love you
everybody.
all.
Love y'all. Have a great day.
That was so misfitish.
Have a good day. Thank you.